Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, captions on this video were provided by Liara, and welcome to Phase 2 of the Hermitcraft recap, where the jokes are deeper in the script and more dangerous for you to find. The decks are still out, and most, if not all, of this week's script is about the latest phenomenon to grip the Hermitcraft server, so we hope you like games, because Tango put games in your games so you can play while you play.
Okay, oh, there's a skeleton here, what?
More secrets of the dungeon have been unearthed as Hypnotized breaks ground on level 3, the Black Mines, and the rest of the hermits follow suit, starting to enter the game on harder levels. And though the Burning Dark is still locked, more Easter eggs are being found, and not just the actual eggs either. Gemini Tay is the first to juke the Victory Chamber's Ravager and reach the secret ultimate victory that earns her a breakdancing trophy. In the meantime, Phase 1 of the game goes by, Good Times with Scar snatching the coveted first place. Will he maintain the lead now that the opposition invested the same Frost Embers into performance-enhancing cards? Well, whatever happens, at least it won't be on an empty stomach. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Stress Monster, who's one of the few players not to feature decked out in her videos this week, because she has two terrifying challenges of her own to create. The first is her latest addition to the anthology of minigames she and Iskall are working on, 20 Ways to Fail, which at this point we're tempted to call 20 Ways to Piston Randomizer. This one's a ladder parkour game, and if Iskall has a rough time playtesting it, that probably means it's working as intended.
I mean, I suck at ladder parkour, but you gotta make sure that it's doable, Stress.
Well, it looks like it's doable.
It looks like it's doable.
The second is her Halloween-themed mansion, which is looking more polished with each new layer of detail, although the spookiest thing about it right now is the Swede hiding between the trapdoors.
He flew in and decided to just chill there.
While Rendog has been spending some time in the decked out arena, he's mostly been doing that on streams, so his video this week swaps the Ravagers of the Frost Citadel for the Polar Bears of the Blue River Raceway, the enormous iceboat racetrack he and Etho have been working on for the past few months. This week, their two halves of the project are finally connected, and Etho places the final ceremonial piece of ice before they race the inaugural lap together.
The last bit of ice, you even named it. I love it.
Yep, it's even named.
Let it be.
Yes, it's completed.
Nice.
Ren's other distraction from the dungeon is the planning of Scabland, his parody of Good Times with Scar's Scarland, which will eventually become a sort of twisted minigame district of its own. You've heard of adventure parks? This is a misadventure park, a theme park where the theme is unsafe to ride. But for the decked out completionists out there, he throws in a bonus run at the end of the video.
Just catching my breath, man. That was
a great run.
That was the first time I've been to that part of the dungeons.
The decked out completionists are eating well this week because Pearlescent Moon has uploaded feature-length episodes including every dungeon run she undertakes in both Phase 1 and Phase 2, complete with handy title cards so you can see how her collection of cards develops as she racks up the runs.
No! Let's not waste any time this time, okay?
In Phase 1, she gets a little too familiar with one Ravager named Pumpkin, but during Phase 2, she follows Gemini Tay and Etho in successfully giving the end-of-game Ravager the slip, earning a spot for her name on the Wall of Fame. Pearl is also a great case study in how designing a segment of the dungeon isn't the advantage you'd expect it to be, after getting into trouble in her slice of the second level. But that doesn't stop her farming Frost Embers and treasure, and if you want the satisfaction of seeing someone get into those tricky areas that need jump boost to access, check out her later attempts in Phase 2.
Dang. Wait, no, I've got longer jump boosts. Oh, it's fine. We're still gonna press out.
And for more Phase 1, try the Gemini Tay movie cut we failed to recap last week. Along with some clutch dodges, it contains the exact moment Gem gets to be the first person to leave her name on the Ultimate Victory Tunnel's wall, the one behind a secret door in the pit where a Ravager named Nothing kills you.
Congratulations on defeating the Gauntlet. You may now enjoy a piece of Victory Cake. Along with your deck of cards, you will find a triumphant trophy in the honor of your accomplishment.
Put it on your head. All right, there you go. Come on out. There you go.
Wait, it's
Wow.
so cool. It's so cool.
It says, I survived.
Watch
I survived the death room.
At this point, Doc M77 has been grinding the dungeon just to get a change of scenery, because boy did he and some other hermits change the scenery over at what used to be a desert.
Yeah.
Took an hour. It's completely scrubbed clean.
Obliterated.
What? That's great.
It's all in service of the buildings which form the sort of baseboards around the perimeter, where sandstone, copper and dirt come together to make buildings which Doc insists are there to propagate his tomato plants. A decent chunk of the copper part of that comes courtesy of Azuma, and Joe Hills helps out a bunch with the rooted dirt. So between them, they buy Doc the time he needs to run Decked Out a few times. And on one such run, we get to see him leave the dungeon carrying his very own artifact.
We're definitely gonna take this artifact.
Iskal85 is much less fortunate, managing to discover his bionic eye artifact on level 2 of the dungeon, but he is vexed by Vexes as he tries to leave. He also breaks the golden pick of shame on the door after forgetting to set his spawn, triggers the Frostwalker trap, gets dropped by a drowned, and is ruined by Ravagers on more than one occasion. But at least he has a couple of successful runs, and he's getting the experience of those lower dungeon levels, which will come in super valuable as the weeks roll on.
Aw, can I get down? I'm gonna take some full damage, I guess. What? What? Did I get sniped? I didn't even hear One-Eyed Willy.
People are dying to get into Decked Out, or maybe it's just the zombies XB Crafted has been keeping from breaching the walls of the Frost Citadel. Either way, XB posts his first runs to YouTube, still from Phase 1, in which the Ravager welcome party turns up on his first visit to the dungeon, but he still makes it out first try. He's slightly bamboozled by the Ravager farewell party, but luckily Vintage Beef and Gemini Tay are there to congratulate him and introduce him to the sunnier environment of the combination queue and daycare facility.
Guess what I'm doing this weekend, all weekend long? Streaming this. It's gonna be awesome.
Ooh, Beef got an artifact.
Still unsure how to decorate his decked out alcove, Vintage Beef tours and critiques the other booths with Good Times with Scar before heading back in for some more Phase 1 runs. Unfortunately for Beef, he has some of the worst Ravager placement we've seen, getting sandwiched or magma'd at the entrance multiple times.
No! Jump up! What is happening? What? Why am I sinking?
But despite this, he perseveres and manages to rack up a few successful runs without getting tenderized.
Okay, there's a dude right there. I am being a lot less. Oh, another one. That's not good.
As the Decked Out 1 champion, Etho has a reputation to protect, which he's mostly doing by decorating his segment of the foyer with his Decked Out 1 artifact board. Of course, the game has changed, but Etho has changed with it. Perhaps it's an early round of Ravager tennis that gives him some perspective. But given a mulligan, Etho starts hitting his marks and becomes the king of close calls. He manages to get out with Vexes on his tail, a Ravager chomping on his backside, and perhaps most impressively, avoids a pummeling from Good Times with Scar.
Aw, I'm a coward. I can't do it.
You have no idea how close you were to just being crushed by a hazard door.
Was I? Oh boy. Did I sneak
You were
through in the
standing
last...
right in one, and you turned around, and as you were leaving, it was like, boom, right behind you.
Etho explains the approach that's putting him in the running to defend his champion title. His strategy mostly focuses on acquiring Frost Embers to buy new cards, and treasure so he can buy additional runs. We're not sure where he bought that armor from, though. But thankfully Tango is there to adjudicate, and rules that since Etho didn't take a hit from anything, it didn't give him an unfair advantage and invalidate the run. He looted, he scooted, and he did it all fully suited. Better late than never, Phase 2 of Decked Out welcomes a newcomer in the form of Mumbo, who needed something to do which wasn't mining Deep Slate or Blackstone for his base build. The vault door may be fixed, but he still needs to build the other 3 walls of his tower, and the less he can think about harvesting warp fungus, the better.
Please remember, I am useless at games.
So after getting some starter advice from Azuma, Mumbo steps into the vault for the first time.
Oh my goodness, this is so cool.
And the second time, and the third time, both of which are much more successful, despite the pressure leading to a serious case of compass tunnel vision.
Oh, I got no! Ah, oh no! What? No! It's right there! No! I don't believe it! I actually got an artifact!
Keralis and False Symmetry follow suit and join the Ravager fodder. After all, Keralis needed somewhere to hide after showing Pearlescent Moon his wall-mounted shulker box pile.
Yeah, I've been hiding this from you, because I remember when you came by with wood, but there's stuff all over the place.
Why are you covering it up?
I don't know. I need to clear it. Like,
though the cleaning lady may yet be kind to his plight, the Ravagers are not, and neither is the client-side inventory mod that keeps any items Keralis picks up off his hotbar. You can see how that can be an issue for Decked Out, where you have to repeatedly throw the compass at the ground, or keep track of the treasure items you're picking up.
got my artifact. Oh, I hear badness. Oh, I hear badness.
False does better at her dive into the depths, but mostly focuses on stacking the deck and gaining cards as opposed to victory points, which might as well be the winning strategy because short term, you are sure not outrunning Mr. Good Times and his victory tomes on the first run power move.
And then likely I'm going to live stream a lot of the rest, at least for this week.
Scar's ultimate triumph over Phase 1 of Decked Out sure hits differently as the finale to his video compiling all of his Week 1 dungeon dives, not in the least because he started off with, "I decided to win Decked Out," and then at the end he does. Truly a man of his word.
Oh, let's go!
Wow!
What the heck? You can do whatever you want with it.
It lines up. That's amazing.
Wear it all day, Scar. Congrats.
But how well will he do once the Warden beasts are added into the mix? Because Hypnotized does the gang a favor and breaks the ice on the level 3 area, the Black Mines. Completely unnecessarily, mind you.
I want to sneak a peek.
By the time Hypno spots the place for the key to go in, he already has the artifact and enough clank left to return it, and nevertheless he breaks the doors open and gets in for a literal sneak peek, because good luck navigating the Black Mines without sneaking.
Come on, Compass, be right here. There's a minecart thing.
At the end of the day, it makes sense he's the one to reach this area, given he's been kinda data mining the dungeon, much to Tango's chagrin. Well, he might have added the Zedaf Easter egg to the final key sequence, but at least he got killed by a warden named Panic at some point, so it evens out.
Jump nerd. I want to explore the ship! Is it bad that I don't want to get the compass, or I don't want to do the artifact, and I just want to explore? Oh, I'm checking out the ship. I'm going to be the first one to board.
In the spirit of discovery, Ijevin discovers that the hard difficulty of the game is real hard, as the first run on that level cuts his survival time from 13 minutes to 4. At least by the end he gets to return to a cozy Azalea and Moss deck nook and admire the spoils of his conquest. But the greatest development of the dungeoneering culture is without doubt the introduction of saturation buffing to the arsenal of the player base. Thanks to a tip from a helpful Redditor, Grian and Scar discover there is a suspicious stew that fills up your saturation stats to its maximum level, which can significantly cut down on the berry bush picking time and streamline the artifact hunting process, since Mojang just won't introduce saturation beacons. Determined to keep this to themselves, Grian and Scar sneak out to fetch a brown mushroom cow hopped up on dandelions and hide the steed in the walls of Decked Out, only to find out that someone is already offering the resaturating service at the entrance to everyone free of charge. Figures that would be a Zoomovoid, judging by next week's thumbnail, but for now all we know is that his Decked Out runs will be landing on his VOD channel, and the best we get for the main one are these certified butt-clenching moments.
Look at me! I'm here! Look at me! Look at me! Thank you. Yeah. Look at me! Okay, that's enough.
Having mastered the art of juking the Towel Guy's Pet Ravager for medium difficulty artifacts, Cubfan decides it's time to try hard runs. His first attempt starts out a bit better than some others, as only one doorway is being camped by Ravagers, the other guard seems to be feeling a bit on edge. The beasts do catch up with him eventually, he even gets to treat his Twitch chat to his own personal horror movie, as he hides under the floorboards waiting for a Ravager to forget he was ever there.
Oh my god, I don't even know if we're ready for this, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Despite second thoughts over whether he's even ready for hard mode runs, he heads back in again, only to find himself with his first level 3 compass, meaning he now has the task to brave the Black Mines and come back out alive when he's yet to even bring home the bacon from level 2.
Oh. Woo. Oh.
With his first level 3 artifact now in hand, Cub stops by the Decked Out exhibit at the museum to update us on the plans for the tower. Artifacts and other exhibits will now be displayed on several floors, making up a miniature version of the real Decked Out. And finally there's Zedaf, which is surprising with how many times he undoes himself this week. There's still a good dozen creatures that Zed hasn't died to yet this season, and Impulse SV is all too happy to help him on the way to that custom advancement. They even put a timer on it to add to the challenge and track down a surprising amount of unique mobs before their time is up in the more literal sense.
How do you make a husk then?
I think you dreamed this up.
Oh goodness! I'm Wikipediaing over here.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.